So we officially started our partnership in 2018, but as early as 2016, we were in conversations with Snowflake, and I remember seeing a demo and thinking that this is something different. But the hardest part was really trying to figure out, we target mid-sized to larger enterprises and work mostly with those. And you see a lot of SQL Server, a lot of Oracle, and Snowflake was a big paradigm shift. So kind of in the early days, a lot of it was a little bit of evangelizing, talking about what's possible. And it really just took that one customer and one success story with Snowflake to start to get other customers to see what's possible with it and why it's so different. And so I think, once we kind of got that first one, it was kind of an exponential growth in terms of seeing more and more customers start to adopt Snowflake and, not even just Snowflake, but more cloud native technologies and architecture. And I think what that did as it evolved over time was, we've been in the space for about 8 years. And the entire architecture, the entire platform of data and analytics just shifted completely. And so it turned us into much more of a modern, data and analytics consulting firm, which I think put us, kind of on the cutting edge, not quite the bleeding edge. And the great thing about that was we were able to start to build partnerships around the periphery of that. So we've got data science, we've got new orchestration tools, we've got the whole thing of data ops. There's all these different opportunities where customers can start to adopt these technologies and put it in their technology stack and start to drive real business outcomes as opposed to, where we were, a decade ago with these giant data warehouses sitting on-prem and people not quite sure what they wanted to do with it. Yeah, I think early on, the great thing about Snowflake is it's so easy to use and it's so simple from a developer standpoint. And it makes it so that, when we hire new consultants that have never even touched Snowflake before but know SQL, within an hour or two, they're able to start being productive. But there were certain features that you just have come to expect on certain on-prem technologies that didn't quite exist in Snowflake. And so there were a lot of workarounds. But now that Snowflake has evolved and started to get more market share, you're starting to see a lot of these periphery technologies, the ELT tools, the BI tools, having native connectivity with Snowflake, where there's now an entire ecosystem of support, whereas in the early days, you were kind of limited to some of the startups, some of those startups who have now become big enterprise players. The first one that I loved to see was, we did a transformation at a logistics company, and basically built an entire analytics platform for them. And a lot of their decision making was kind of more gut driven and Excel driven. And after we kind of went through this entire process, not just on the technology side, but a little bit on the people process side, we'd come in every morning and see executive meetings where instead of looking at a big PowerPoint deck or Excel, you'd see the executives all making decisions driving off of a Tableau dashboard that was hitting Snowflake. And just to see those results, data-driven decision making and seeing it in action, that was huge to see. I think it means we're going to continue to invest pretty heavily, not just in Snowflake, but the entire periphery of Snowflake. As they start to evolve, you can start to see where they're headed and then where the rest of the market is headed. A great example is Snowflake's data marketplace. We've now got customers that are able to leverage some of these alternative data sets, whether it's economic indicators or foot traffic based on where Starbucks locations are at, or whether there's a sporting event happening at a given location. Our business users can start to look at these data sets and see what's possible, combine them together, and now use this to drive new and better insights than just with the data they have. So I think ultimately it's helping our customers bring all of their data together, and then also feeding in outside data and sharing that with our vendors, and making it just a more open ecosystem for making insights and speed to insight faster and easier to attain.